Hello and welcome to the Hello and welcome to the Digital Pragmatism podcast. Today we are welcoming Gosia.
Hello.
Gosia is back and we're gonna talk today about what it means to have a good enough job and is it okay or not okay to be very ambitious professionally. And so when I talk about being ambitious professionally and having a good enough job, what do you automatically think about it, Gosia? Is it a positive association or a negative one?
It's good to be ambitious in your life.
Why?
Because it's some kind of a driver.
It can be.
It can be, and you can achieve what you want to achieve, but you must know what kind of life you would like to have, first of all.
So should I start by thinking about in which career can I be the most ambitious, or should I start by asking myself a question, what kind of life would I want to have?
So the second one.
The second one is better?
Is better.
Why?
Now I know it, because I didn't ask this question
me
myself.
Neither. 20 years ago, I wanted just to have a job, and it was pretty much it.
Okay.
And you?
I wanted to have the best job ever, to be wealthy and famous.
Okay, cool.
And
So you can see who is more ambitious in our duo. I also wanted that, but it appeared later. My first goal was to just have a job, to be able to sustain myself. Okay, so you have started with 100% ambition and 0% lifestyle design. And how it went?
So I was traveling to my job 4 hours per day.
4? Like 4? 1, 2, 3, 4 hours?
Yes, because I was convinced that this is my dreamed corporate job. And I never thought, that this is not the type of lifestyle that I would like to have.
You are talking about the commute or something else?
About commute and, spending all my life, all my days at work, like it was at the beginning.
Yeah, it was like that. I think that it's like that in most corporate jobs, actually. It's good to ask this lifestyle questions. Which kind of life would you like to have? But as I'm thinking about it right now, I don't know whether the answer when I was 25 or 26 would be something I would be proud of. Tell me whether you agree or not, but I think also that if you had 100% of drive and 0% of lifestyle design at the beginning of your career, if you ask yourself the question, which life would I want to have, you would probably tell something that would be in line with this concept of having a very ambitious corporate job, no?
Mm-hmm.
And I would probably say I want to have a life that will allow me to see my friends and pass time with you. That would be it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe a better idea would be to ask this question more than once.
Yes, because your life is changing. It's different when you are single, it's different when you are married, and different when you have kids. So it's good to ask yourself
each year?
Constantly,
Each 2 years?
Well, each time when you start to have a feeling that something is going wrong, I think, or you think it's too late.
I don't know. I'm asking myself basically whether there were times in the last 20 years when I felt bad and I would be pushed to ask this question. Probably the first time I would ask myself this question would be when we had kids.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be pretty late in my career.
Yes, because having kids is a really life-changing moment. And I think that it's good to have kids earlier because it's really changes.
You can have more kids then. No, I think I think that parents that had kids later wish and tell others to have them earlier, and those who had kids earlier maybe are saying maybe we could wait 1 or 2 years.
But I think that it's very important to know what kind of life you would like to have and match your job to your life. And I think that it's much better than to do in opposite way.
Than to dream about a job and then verify whether you will have a good life by working at this company in this role.
Well, sometimes you have to check because you don't know, but it's good to have some kind of to have some points that you want to stick with. Like, I do not want to work in the evenings, for example. It will help you in your job to refuse, for example, something.
Yeah, no, this is a good idea, but the problem I'm seeing in this kind of reflection is that if I asked you this while we were 26, you would give me another answer, and if I asked you this when we had our first daughter, it would be another answer. So this changes.
Mm-hmm.
What if you are already in a job that you think is okay because it is 100% ambitious and you can be proud of what you're doing professionally, and then something changes in your life? Should you wait for some kind of a discomfort, or just say this is a big event in my life, like a marriage or having kids, or I don't know, moving from a country to another, and tell this is a big event, and so I should ask myself this question and make a list of the characteristics of the life I would like to have right now after this change?
Yes, you should do this because it's like delaying something. This will come to you sooner or later.
Okay, so if you don't ask yourself this question, it will the world will decide for you.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know that there is a book that is called with the same title, The Good Enough Job?
I didn't know.
Me neither, but I did a Google search earlier this day, and so we have not read this book, but I presume this book is talking about the same thing. But maybe let's try be more practical. What would be a good enough job for you today? And how it would be different from the 100% ambitious job that you had at the beginning of your career? You would start by what in your reflection?
At this point of my life, it would be something meaningful for me.
Mm-hmm. Like meaningful, helping people?
Yes.
Okay.
The job that I would be convinced that it contributes to
the well-being of the humanity
community, and of course the job that would be paid well.
Okay, but you have said that you should not imagine a job, but rather say what kind of lifestyle you would like to have, and then match a job. So if I had to draw conclusions from what you said right now, it would be you would like to have a life which is filled with things that are important for the local community and useful, helpful to people.
Yes, and I would like to have a job that would allow me to have time with my kids.
Yeah.
So
these two, but the appartenance to some kind of a community, was it something you thought about at the beginning of your career, or not at all?
Not at all.
Okay.
I was thinking about myself.
And that's it.
And that's it. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So it changes, and so time with kids. What else?
With my husband.
Yeah.
And to have time to relax, to to be in nature.
Okay, but you know, there is a writer that I like to read and to listen to his podcast, Cal Newport, and he is talking about something similar, something he calls a lifestyle-centered career design, if I'm not mistaken. And so the questions that he advises to ask you are more precise, because he says also to think, for example, if you want to have long walks in nature or not, or if you want to swim in the sea often, or if you want to have easy access to the mountains. If you ask yourself those questions, what would be the answers?
So I would like to live close to nature, with some water nearby. And this is very important what you are talking about, because we are working and taking 2 weeks of holidays, and we are spending and we are during these holidays we are doing what we would like to do. You know, we are.
And you know that I am really against this kind of lifestyle.
I know, and that's why I'm talking about it, because I think that you are right. Because it's better to have a good quality of life on daily basis. If you like to be in nature, so just
be in nature every day.
Every day, yes. Don't live in the city. Try to find a job that would support your lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then you will be, happy. At the beginning of my career, my plan was I will be working hard, to at the end of my career and my life, I would buy a little house
and
by the lake and then...
So basically you have a little house, but not by the lake, but in the forest. And basically it was my idea to do it before you are retired.
Because this is a second question. When you know what kind of lifestyle you would like to have, is it possible to?
Oh, it's. I think it's a bad question to ask, because what would be the criteria of possibility? You don't know, and nobody knows basically. And so I think that once you know which life you would like to have, what I would suggest is to test it. And so if you say, I want to live by a lake, take Airbnb and rent a house near a lake for 1 month and go there for vacation or for, I don't know, some kind of a remote working setup, and see whether it would be really nice. Because a lot of the time we are thinking that something would bring us joy, and it actually is not bringing us joy, or we are not thinking about the downsides that this situation would bring into our life. And this is the first thing. I would test the concept if it's something new. And if I know that I like it, basically I would not make a criteria whether it is possible or not, but I would rather believe that everything is possible, and so this is also possible. And maybe it is not possible here, maybe it is possible in another city, or maybe it is possible in another country, but somewhere it will be possible. Because if not, if you are saying, I want to live by a lake, but it's impossible, what does it mean?
It means that I just do not want to try?
Yeah, but exactly. It means that you have some kind of a limitation somewhere. Because if you are looking for a job and you cannot find a job near a lake, maybe you can start a business near a lake, or maybe you cannot find a job near a lake here, but in another country you would be able to do it, etc. So I was always this kind of possibility-seeking person, rather. So we would like to ask you, what is your story related to lifestyle design, and what is your story related to how your professional endeavors, how your job, maybe your business evolved, and whether it was in line with your lifestyle needs or not. Please write a comment. We are very, very curious to know what are your stories.
So thank you.
Thank you very much, and bye-bye.